I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact.
If they vote out before the election, you are open to expanding the court?
I'm open to considering what happens from that point on.
Now at 11, the president pressed on QAnon. His challenger, Joe Biden, questioned about hacking the Supreme Court. Two candidates taking on tough topics in two separate town halls. We're certainly glad you're with us at 11 o'clock. I'm David Usher.
And I'm Natalie Pascarella. On a night originally scheduled to hold a presidential debate, President Trump and former Vice President Biden squared off on opposite networks instead of opposite sides of the stage. Trump appeared here on NBC live from Miami, Biden on ABC from Philadelphia. Both men shared their message with voters less than 3 weeks ahead of Election Day. Let's get right over to government affairs reporter Melissa Russo for some key takeaways tonight. Melissa.
Natalie, President Trump refused to do a remote debate tonight, so instead many of us ended up holding our remotes, surfing back and forth. And if you timed it right, you might have caught Donald Trump all but admitting he owes $400 million in taxes, and Biden admitting that some parts of his 1994 crime bill were a mistake.
Decision 2020.
On one channel, Trump.
I have done more for the African American community than any president, with the exception of Abraham Lincoln.
On another channel, Biden.
The words of a president matter.
Do you have pneumonia?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I didn't feel good.
On NBC tonight, Savannah Guthrie pushed the president for clearer answers on his case of COVID.
Did the doctors ever tell you that they saw pneumonia on your lung scans?
No, but they said the lungs are, a little bit different, a little bit perhaps infected. And
infected with?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't do too much asking.
President Trump also didn't do too much answering tonight on questions like whether he took a COVID test on the day of the first presidential debate, as per the rules.
Possibly I did, possibly I didn't. But
and on why the U.S. COVID-19 death rate is higher than that of other nations.
Everybody is working hard to get this thing out of our country, get it out of the world. Look at what's going on in Europe.
But our death rate is worse than, well, not Spain, but those other countries.
I have things right here that will tell you exactly the opposite.
Me too.
Over on ABC at the same time, Biden was busy going after Trump's record on COVID.
And when a president doesn't wear a mask or makes fun of folks like me when I was wearing a mask for a long time, then, people say, well, it mustn't be that important.
Both candidates took questions from voters tonight.
If a vaccine were approved between now and the end of the year, would you take it?
If the body of scientists say that this is what is ready to be done and it's been tested, they've gone through the 3 phases, yes, I would take it. I'd encourage people to take it.
The president grew irritated when asked about his apparent delay at the first debate in denouncing white supremacy.
No,
My question to you is,
you've done this to me and everybody.
Why does it seem like
I denounce white supremacy, okay?
You did
I've
2 days
denounced
later.
white supremacy for years, but you always do it. You always start off with a question. You didn't ask Joe Biden whether or not he denounces Antifa.
But tonight, Joe Biden was pressed on the question of whether he'll expand the size of the Supreme Court if elected. He did not offer a clear response.
No matter what answer I gave you, if I say it, that's the headline tomorrow. It won't be about what's going on now, the improper way they're proceeding.
But don't voters have a right to know where you stand?
They do have a right to know where I stand, and I'll have a right to know where I stand before they vote.
So you'll come out with a clear position before Election Day?
Yes, depending on how they handle this.
Biden was not asked about the new allegations of a smoking gun email suggesting that his son, Hunter Biden, set up a meeting between his father and a representative of that Ukrainian company that was paying him. And some viewers tonight are not happy that that subject never came up. Dave?
Melissa Russo sorting through the dueling town halls tonight. Melissa, thank you.